if we fulfill that identity, then that is sufficient for this life, isn't it? So, what Prabhupada hasn't done? If you estimate that you know what he has done, can you imagine at the age of 70 going to a abroad to accomplish something? And this old man travels in a cargo ship. He doesn't have money. And oh, क्यों तंग करते हो उसको? So, Prabhupada went to America for who? For you and me, isn't it? If you estimate that the trouble he has taken, the contributions he has done for our benefit, then whatever we are doing is nothing at all. Yes? In return, what have we given him? So that should be your meditation. In 2 months' time, the Vyasa Puja is coming. On the Vyasa Puja day, is the opportunity for us to remind ourselves that how grateful we are to the person. So if you look at Prabhupada, what the contributions he has done for the whole world many things, right? But what is that impact to us in our personal life? You are sitting here because of him. In return, what have you done? You have your parents. Because of your parents, you are here. But you love them. In return, you do something, isn't it? So likewise, Prabhupada is also our Param Gurudev. He is our grandfather. Right? So we have to reciprocate. So what does he want? Why did he take all this trouble? Generally, people take the trouble, go to abroad to do the job, this one, that one. They get the career, they get the name, they get the position, many things they get. What did Prabhupada get? What did he wanted? Or at least he gave the bhakti to you. What did he wanted from you? Take and give. So he didn't want anything, right? So how we then pay back? So we have to become very nice devotees. That is the payback to him. And once we become pure, nice devotees, and we have to make others devotees, that is the payback. That is our responsibility. Does that make sense? So our identity should be, I am the servant of Prabhupada. That's it. Okay. So actually I wanted to do one bhajan. I don't know whether we have time. So Katal. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Okay. So it is the Sri Krishna Prabhu Adhikary. Okay. You have very smart mobiles. Yeah, mobiles are smarter. Should I display here?
Yes,
Huh?
that will be if that's one.
Easy. Have it here.
Password. Password का bro.
Okay, the address check
20225. There is no sound
Clear name. Audio is not clear.
due to this.
वॉल्यूम चूसता है वॉल्यूम रिलीज किया तो कम हो रहा है लेकिन इसका आ रहा है
Why is this? Do you have another mic?
Connect नहीं हो रहा है.
अरे सही
हो गया नहीं?
Either bro. Yes.
अदर वन इज ठीक है ना थोड़ा कम हो ना थोड़ा कम हो
Still there. White noise.
जैसे कि तो ऐसा आता है
Bit slow.
अभी कम हो अभी कम है ठीक है ना वो टेम्बल टेम्बल कम हो गया अभी बेटर है
Perfect. We'll start.
Start.
We got a link through.
I share the link. Share the link in the group.
Just came through.
కూర్చుంది మీరు చేస్తారా ఇది? జై శ్రీ ప్రభుపాదకి జై శ్రీ గురుదేవ్కి హరే కృష్ణ.
Hare Krishna.
So we are singing the Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Jive Dayakari.
Prabhu, I see it second last from the bottom of the screen. Don't move the screen. Yeah. Second last Prabhu from the bottom.
Oh, second
Move
version.
it up.
Okay.
Jive Dayakari. There are the two songs, Dayaparamara and Jive Dayakari.
दूसरा भी.
Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Jive Dayakari. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Jive Dayakari. Sadanga Saranagati Hoibe Jahara Sahara Satana Sune Srinanda Kumara Rupa Sanatana Pade Dantre Sina Kori Bhakti Vinoda Pade Duhe Padadari কান্দিয়া কান্দিয়া বলে আমি তো অধম শিখায়ে শরণাগতি কর হে উত্তম Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So, this prayer is written by who?
Bhakti Vinoda.
And everyone familiar with Bhaktivinoda Thakur? How many of you don't know who Bhaktivinoda Thakur is? Please raise your hand. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Some people know half and how are you?
Good, Prabhuji, how are
Good
you?
to see you. Yes. So, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is one of our acharyas. Okay, that's his spiritual position. But in material position, what was that?
The magistrate.
He was the magistrate during the British Empire. Okay, and that is the highest position one can go in during the British Raj. Right? In that respect, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is a highly qualified professional. Right? And so we are all professional as well. That's why I'm just putting. And how Bhaktivinoda Thakur led his life. Okay, how he retired. Okay. Okay, so today's topic is retirement, isn't it? So we have to draw some examples from it, right? And he has wrote this prayer, very beautiful prayer, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, very, very merciful, and he came to this material, this world, for what? To distribute Krishna Prem. Okay, Dan. Dan means who can give the Dan? The one who has it. And who do you give the Dan? One who doesn't have. Right? So, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give the Krishna Prem without any discrimination. So, Bhakti Thakur explains about the process of the surrender. There are the 6 symptoms of the surrender, right? So our retirement, our life, our purpose is to go to those 6 types. If we can mold our life in such a way that ultimately we come to that stage, we are able to surrender to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then our life is successful. Okay, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna gave the conclusion. What is the conclusion? Yes, Mamekam Sharanam Aham Tam Sarva Papeshu Mokshasami Mahasisa. Krishna spoke all the Bhagavad Gita, entire topic that is, entire universe you need to know right from the, you are not the soul, you are not the body, you are the soul, karma, jnana and everything. And finally what he said, don't worry about anything what I said. Remember only one thing, just surrender. Isn't it? Or instead, he could have said only one verse. Why 700 verses? Right? So, but this is the topmost. Right? Krishna gave the whole education for different classes of people, but this is the highest. That's okay, surrender. But how to surrender? Did Krishna explain? No, he didn't. Yes, Madhuri? You are saying something. Right?
Surrender, like leave everything and then come to me. That's it. Surrender.
Yes, that is the surrender. But how to do it? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came 500 years later, and he showed how to surrender. And that is what Bhakti Thakur translated into this prayer. Okay? And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very, very merciful. We are very fortunate to be associated or taking the path of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay? Krishna said, surrender to me, then I'll give you mercy. That is the condition, isn't it? Just surrender to me. What did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu say? You take the mercy first. Surrender to me later. Isn't it? That is the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't see whether anybody is advanced or not, surrender, not fallen, and nothing. He just distributed the Krishna Prem to everybody. Okay, there are beautiful descriptions are there in Chaitanya Charitamrita. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to the South India, but that is another topic altogether. So, that we are very, very fortunate to come in this line. And Srila Prabhupada came in that line and brought that Krishna Prem to us. Isn't it? So, now, that question comes that we have our professional life, family life, children, we are settled abroad, and at the same time we are practicing the bhakti. Both of them, how do we balance? And on top of it, now that we are all aging, right? Ultimately, how do we retire? That is the question. Yes? So that's where that we have the today's topic. Look, Hare Krishna. Yeah. If she says, then I have to do it.
open your door. I was like, whose door I do open? I do open my door.
We are all in the same boat, Prabhuji.
Yes, so that is the power. That's why they are called as a Sakti. Isn't it? Okay. Okay, anyone can read. Yes, Mataji, would you like to read?
Yeah. So the Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So these Pandavas were trained up very nicely. Therefore, Vasudev, Bhagavati, Hey Ekant Matir Aptam. They knew that ultimately Krishna is everything. Vasudeva Sarvam iti Sa Mahatma Sa Durlabha.
Vasudeva Sarvamiti Sa Mahatmasu Durlabha.
Anyone who understands that ultimately Krishna Vasudeva is everything, Sa Mahatma Su Durlabha, such person is very rare. Mahatma, great soul. So all these Pandavas were great soul, and they ultimately retirement means no more material affairs. We are active on the platform of this bodily consciousness. That is also required for some time, not for all the time. The aim is to work for the soul. But because now we are covered by this material body, so we have to utilize the best use of a bad bargain. It is a bargain that we have got this material body, but because just like you take care of your car, because you, the spirit soul, will utilize it for going here and there. Without a man being interested going by car, nobody takes care. Similarly, this is also a car given by nature.
Very good. Okay. So, what is the retirement means? Yes, Prabhuji.
Off from the work. I mean, generally, off from the work.
Off from the work. What work? What is the work?
Generally, if you take office, you are going from office or any kind of work that you are earning, so you are just making a retirement.
Okay. So your wife works at home, cooking, cleaning. That's the work. Yes.
It's a
So
responsibility.
what happens if she takes? So what is the retirement? Yes.
So as we are reading from this slide, it says that no more material affairs. You have to basically focus on Krishna. Like you are not worried about earning money anymore, so that you can focus attentively on Krishna for rest of your life.
Very good.
Last breath.
Very good. Any other points anyone wants to share from this passage?
That is the ultimate goal of human life, why we have been given this body.
Very good. Yes. Yes, Mataji.
Same Prabhuji, we have to stop whatever we are doing. I mean, materialistically stop doing spirituality, at least from that time. So that's the requirement.
Stop the material work. Continue the spiritual work. What does it mean?
Engaging your mind completely for Krishna consciousness. Before that, it was obviously divided because materially you have to earn and nourish your family, and plus you were doing side by side Krishna consciousness. But retirement for me would be even from the mind as well. Once you've done with that work, now your mind, your body, your soul, everything is for completely for Krishna consciousness.
Very good. Very good. Prabhupada explained in the last. Right? Suppose car is there, we use the car, go here, go there and all. But if you don't want to go there, what is the use of the car? Right? So our body is like that. Body we are using for doing many achievements. Now use the same body for our spiritual purpose. Okay? Just like Bhakti what did he do when he wanted to retire? he was a magistrate and he wanted to retire. And he filed his resignation that, I don't want to work anymore. So the higher officials asked, what do you want to do then? Isn't it? You resigned, you are retiring, but then what will you do? He said, I want to go to Mayapur and I want to write the scriptures. So officials requested him, whatever you do, we don't obstruct you, but you continue the job. So Bhakti Thakur went to Mayapur, settled there, not Mayapur but across the Ganga, and British government put a railway line from his house to the office. And every day he traveled in the train, private train. So that is the power of Bhakti Thakur, right? And of course his life story, if we see that all day he was basically utilizing for Krishna conscious activities. So the whole purpose of this professional career, this ability, or this knowledge that we gain from this Bhakti Vriksha, Bhakti Shastris, from Prabhupada's teachings and all, ultimately to come to that stage. Okay? Retirement doesn't mean stop working. You work. Okay? But dovetail all the work to Krishna. Right now, maybe half and half, some percentage, maybe more to the material work, less to the spiritual work. So this is the retirement is 100% into spiritual work. So how it will happen? Yes, how it will happen, bro? You should say what is your view. How will you retire?
So plan for now, bro. Have a plan in mind, because they say planning to fail is failing to plan. Failing to plan is planning to fail.
Yes, I'll tell you. Retirement is very easy. As Prabhu said, stop work. Stop the work. Isn't it? Just stop and go to Vrindavan. Finish. What else you need? Is that practical? No? Who said? Who says it's not practical? Raise your hand. So Mataji agrees. It's practical. Yes?
No, I said it's not practical.
Not practical. Okay. See, Rupa Goswami, he was the minister in the Nawab, the Bengal king. He retired. And when he retired, he had 2 boat full of the gold coins. Right? And what did he do? He distributed to everybody and went to Vrindavan. What did he have when he went to Vrindavan? 0. So that is retirement. So it's very easy. What to plan? Yes, have prasadam and then retire. No, don't retire hungry. Yes. So today, after the class, have prasadam. Then whoever wants to retire, go to Vrindavan.
Book a flight.
That's it. Yes? Will it work? No,
Not really.
not for us. Yes.
Prabhuji, if you want to go to Vrindavan, then you're already deducting into your life saving. So why don't you just drive to Vrindavan, take a cruise? You get some sense enjoyment before you quit.
He's very advanced. Where is your dad? Yeah. So he understood. He realized already. If you have to go to Vrindavan, why waste time? Why you accumulated so much money? That is also true. Yes. If you say, ultimately, if you have to retire, stop working, give up everything, then why to earn in the first place?
Pay the mortgage.
So
So it is about
So-
material desires will much attached to them and we are not able to renounce from them. So that is the basic, that is binding us.
Right. So, one thing we must understand that all these things are temporary. And we have to learn to give up. You voluntarily give up, that is better. If you don't give up, then what happens?
Krishna will take it
It will be taken away.
anyway.
It won't stay with you. Definitely. Position, power, money, reputation, recognition, whatever you are running after, everything will be taken away. Okay? When you are healthy, okay, when you are capable, when you are conscious, at that time you have to give up. Okay? It's difficult. It's practically difficult. So, we have to gradually plan. Okay? So, that is all about the retirement. Okay? So, whatever the time that you put target, let's discuss gradually. So, here, as Prabhupada mentioned, retirement means that giving up the material affairs. Okay? Any affairs that is connected to this material body, they must be given up. Right? So, my business, my work, money, all these things, designations, as I said, power, position, recognition, everything is attached to this body. But you work for the soul. Yes? That is the retirement. It doesn't mean that you stop working. Prabhupada started working at 70. Right? At the 70, he increased his work. Isn't it? So, retirement doesn't mind. But when he retired, how did he retire? He gave up everything, went to Vrindavan. So, whether you can do that, we are not saying. There are many examples. Rupa Goswami did, Sanatana Goswami did, Ramananda Rai did, Sikhi Mahiti did, Srila Prabhupada did, and all those are the early days. In the current day and age, followers of the Prabhupada, they also did. And their disciples, they are also giving up. Many sannyasis are there. What do they do? Sannyasis in ISKCON. They give up everything. So, we are not recommending you to do that. Okay? That's a bit scary, isn't it? So, we'll take a bit soft launch. Yes?
Soft.
Okay. So, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Okay? So, he is our Gurudev. So, Hare Krishna. Okay, so this is a bit of I wrote, but he already introduced. That's all good. And I have been into the community service since teenage, I would say. And then the yoga and other stuff. And then the Prishni. Prishni is a Reiki practitioner and also joined in ISKCON since 2005, same time. And she is also a preacher, Bhakti Prahlad teacher. She basically modeled many children. And garden service, deity worship. And currently, she is basically working as a treasurer for last 8 years. She is a cost accountant and also she worked in the IT industry. Okay, so she gave up that job and engaged in the service. Okay. Now, before coming to the retirement, right, let's see who is a happy person. You want to retire unhappy or you want to retire happy? Happy. Everybody wants the happiness, isn't it? Nobody wants the unhappiness. We don't go to Krishna, say that, oh Krishna, I'm too happy, Can you give me some problems in my life? I don't have any health problem for a long time. Please give me health problems. Anybody wanting that? We go to, oh Krishna, I have a finance problem. Oh Krishna, I have a health problem. Oh Krishna, this guy is bothering me. We go with the problems, isn't it? Why? Because we want to be happy. So, in the Mahabharata, when Yudhishthir Maharaj went they went, then only I will return your brothers, right? And one of the questions he asked that, who is a happy person in this world? So, who is that person? One is Aruni. Aruni means the person who doesn't have debts. Okay? Even Bhagavatam it says, the person who leaves the debts to their children is their enemy. Father is an enemy who gives you the debt. Mother is the enemy who is not a good character. Right? Becoming father and mother is a great responsibility. Okay? Bhagavatam says that if you can't deliver your children, don't become father or mother. If you can't deliver your student, then don't become a teacher. Okay, it's a great responsibility. Okay, so having the children, leaving them is okay for the animals, not for the human beings. Human beings have what? Great responsibility. Okay, so one of the characteristics, quality of a happy person is the person who doesn't have loans. Okay, you can have loans. Having a loan itself is not a problem, but having the debt is the problem. Okay, suppose if you have the sufficient equity, then that's okay. You'll have a peace of mind. You can sleep nicely, right? But if the person has got too much of debt, he can't even sleep properly. Okay, he can't eat properly also. Where is the happiness? And second characteristic is Apravasi. Okay, what the Apravasi means? The person who doesn't leave their own place. Is anybody here left their native place?
All of you. Maybe
Right.
he doesn't do that.
Yes, you are the Apravasi. Okay. So, that for career, for money, or for positions, we leave our own place. Right? So, one should not leave. But if you leave, but take up the Krishna consciousness, that's okay. Okay? So, you all are migrants, but take up the right path. That is the best thing to do. When you take the Krishna consciousness, whether you are at your native place, somewhere else, it doesn't matter. But if somebody is at the native but doesn't take up the Krishna consciousness, that is wasting it. Life is wasted, isn't it? But in generally, it is the Apravasya and Sakamya Bhojan. The person who is satisfied just by rice and sak, spinach. Okay. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's favorite food, Sakanya Bhojan. Okay, sak. See, the spinach is very easy to grow, very cheap. Okay, very easy to cook, very easy to eat, very easy to digest, and very, very nutritious. Okay, it doesn't impact your pocket. Yes, and it's a very, very simple food. Prabhupada says, simple living, high thinking. Okay, but if you are attached to the pizza, pasta, paneer sabji, pulao, so when you go to Vrindavan, you are chanting, you think, Are Melbourne Mahaprasad. You know. So, where is the retirement then? Isn't it? One must be satisfied with the simple bhojan. Yes, these are the three things. Whoever has got, they are the happy person. Okay, they will never be unhappy. Okay. Aruni, one point like I want to mention that one of my friend, he lost job last year. So interest rates are very high, and husband and wife both are working anyway. But this person came to me. I've already lost my job. It's going to be 1 month. I'm stressful. If I don't get a job immediately, then I don't have any money to pay my debts. I said that you are working, your wife is working, and you have been working for so many years, then what is the problem? So what this fellow has done, whatever their income, here they have taken the loans that much. If he doesn't get the salary, then he can't even pay the mortgages. He had the loans up to here. Right? He was stressful. He couldn't sleep day and night. So that is wrong. How many houses will you take back when you go? Okay? That is the retirement. That is the real retirement. Okay? So, one of the Maharaj, I asked, how one should plan for retirement? He said that don't plan for the retirement. Plan for the future. What is the future?
After like spiritual, going back to Krishna.
That is the future. That's what you have to work. How much you take back? 0. You started with 0 when you took birth, and you finish with 0, right? That is what you have to focus on. In between, why you don't want to have so much of loan? Have enough loan, what you can manage. Sleep peacefully. When you came to Australia, you came with $0. Why do you expect your children to have the millionaires? Make sense? So they can work, they can earn the money, isn't it? So, but they will be definitely better off than you. Okay, so don't expect like you may have a 50 houses, millions of the dollars. Then what? You have to pass on to the kids only. After some time, you will not be eat properly. Okay? If you eat, it's a problem. If you don't eat, it's a problem. Okay? Everybody goes through that situation. And we are talking about building the profiles, portfolios, So that is where it comes, the ROE. Okay? So you have to balance your investment. So, in the above everything, one must have faith that Krishna is the protector. That is where the surrender comes. Okay, we have to train ourselves gradually. While we have our material investments, material plans, our family and everything, our main goal is this one. Okay, now the weight is there on the having the material establishment. We have to shift to the spiritual goal. That is the retirement. Make sense, Mataji?
Yes.
So how to do it? Yes? So that's where we already discussed many of it. Okay. So now when we are leading our life, right? Assuming we live for 100 years. Yes? So nowadays in Kali Yuga that is also very difficult. But if you are lucky, so 100 years. So first 25 years is for the studies, brahmacharya. Okay? And that is where one gets the jnana. Yes? And most of us here, all are grastas. Are there no anyone? You are grasta anyway. you are basically looking forward to grasta. That means you are a grasta. Yes? So, for grastas, the whole thing revolves around finance. Yes? If finance is taken out of your life, what is left?
Bliss.
Your bank account, your investments, your money, everything is taken away. For example, what else is there in your life?
Our kids are there, Prabhu. Our parents.
Yes, yes, very valuable.
And your responsibilities
Yes.
towards them.
Yes, that is you have to count. Yes, they go long way. Those relations go beyond this life. Yes, but anyway, in Grihasthas, everything revolves around money. Because brahmachari, they don't earn. Vanaprastha, they are retired. Sannyasis, they don't earn money. Only Grihasthas basically manage the money, earn the money, or distribute. What do? They earn and they give the charity as well. That is the responsibility. Grihasthas have to earn and at the same time give the charity as well. That's why dana also comes. Yes? And when Grihasthas hit 50 years, you must retire. Okay? Are there anybody 50? Or going to be 50? Yes.
Going to be 50 years, Prabhu, I hope so. Someday.
We have 10 years. In 10
Okay.
years.
So that is the retirement age is 50. Okay. So that the rest of the life we can focus more on the Krishna conscious business. So Vanaprastha is not to give up this family. Still with the family, husband and wife will be together, but retire from the active work. Okay? Focus everything on the Krishna consciousness and preaching and things like that. Sannyas means renounce everything. No money, no house, nothing, and just the pair of clothes. That's it. Okay? That is the Rupa Goswami. Okay? So that's what I was suggesting. Prabhu, after today. Okay? But that is the sannyas. So we are talking about Vanaprastha. Okay? Today's session we are talking about Vanaprastha. How to get into that stage. Okay? And it is good to get into the Vanaprastha as soon as possible. When you have a mental strength and the physical strength, you utilize. It's not that, everything is done, and your body is useless to do anything. Then you'll say, I will retire. You retire or don't retire, it's the same thing. Isn't it? So, in India, general people say that, even my friends, whenever I go India, I hear this from my friends. So nowadays, I stop talking about my spiritual life with them. They say, why unnecessarily you are reading the Bhagavad Gita now? This is the time to enjoy. Enjoy now. Old age will see. So when you can't see properly, or you can't hear properly, you don't have the strength, you can't sit down, you can't get up, you can't do anything, not good for work, then you read Bhagavad Gita. And what does Bhagavad Gita teach us?
Devotional service.
How to live life dynamically. And that you read at the fag end of your life, what will you live? So Prahlad Maharaj said, you read Bhagavad Gita at the age of 5. Okay, at the age of 5, at the beginning of the life, you read Bhagavad Gita, so that you know how to mold your life. And come to 50, you have to decide how to give up. So that has to start at 5. For us, it's too late. Okay, but it's never too late, right? Prabhupada has given us a balanced program. If we follow Prabhupada's teaching in a balanced way, then we can achieve this, right? So we are talking about the Vanaprastha. Okay, Vanaprastha, the person basically focuses on the purely bhakti. Okay, no mix of the material endeavors. Make sense? So let's have a look at the same thing in a different dimension. Now, in the 4th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, what is the chapter you are reading now?
We are left.
Oh, fantastic! You are all advanced. Bhakti Yoga. Yeah.
Nita is advanced. Everybody. We are advanced.
Yes.
Prabhu,
Thank you, Mother. So, we have how many types of karma is there? Oh, it's already here, huh? But yeah. 4 types? Yes?
3 times.
Three.
3 times.
Or not 4? They changed the Bhagavad Gita, is it? Okay, 3 types. I was testing you. So karma, vikarma and akarma. So when you are doing the action, good karma or bad karma, they all material. Yes? Akarma is spiritual activity. So if our consciousness is material, that is what leads to karma and akarma. Karma and vikarma. And which will have reaction. Yes? And if our consciousness is spiritual, that's what leads to akarma. Okay? So, however, accidentally somebody does the spiritual activities. Okay? What it classified as? It's not karma. It's not akarma also. Because his consciousness is not there to do the spiritual activity. Krishna is not in the center, but accidentally he did that. So that comes as a ajnata sukriti. Okay, accidental sukriti. Clear? So when we have the spiritual consciousness, spiritual activity, and completely focused on Krishna consciousness, Krishna in the center, me is taken out. Right now, me in the center. Right? Everything revolves around me. Me, my money, my house, my family, my relations, my neighbor, my enemy. Yes? Everything is me. But when that me is removed, when Krishna is there in the center, then basically that becomes our bhakti. Make sense? So, the retirement is to come to that stage. Right now, we are doing the akarma. Right? We are learning in the Bhakti Vriksha. So, whatever the material work we do, how we can keep Krishna in the center, how we dovetail that one. All this is akarma. But you have to raise above to the higher platform. That is where we perform the pure bhakti. Okay? That is the purpose of the retirement. Clear? So you can ask any questions if you have, we'll keep it interactive. Okay, you can ask later also. Okay, any questions here in the karma rules? So now, Ajnata Sukriti. Yeah, suppose somebody is a completely materialist. Okay, and our Harinam party is going, and they did the kirtan, and he heard in this city Hare Krishna Mahamantra. He doesn't know what is Hare Krishna, but he heard it. Or somebody maybe gave a book. He maybe took the Bhagavad Gita accidentally. Or maybe he helped a devotee accidentally. He doesn't know he is a devotee. Right? When the sannyasis or the senior Vaishnavas, they come, all the devotees run after them. Can I serve you? Can I serve you? And they take the service from the devotees. What for? Why the devotees are running after to serve, and why the senior Vaishnavas give the service?
Sukruti.
Sukruti. What kind of Sukruti?
Spiritual.
See, now let's say any Guru Maharaj or sannyasis, they come. What is their business? Their business is the last line, spiritual activity. Activity is spiritual, consciousness is spiritual. Whatever the material they carry, that is also spiritual only. They are carrying a suitcase. Somebody says, can I carry? They give the suitcase, okay, you carry. But what is there in that suitcase? Krishna is there. When you are carrying the suitcase, you carry Krishna. So, it is the good for the advancement of the devotee. So, what is the business of the Guru or Sannyasi? To give the Krishna to others. So, that is how they engage. Right? Suppose a person is not a devotee. He doesn't know anything. Some sannyasi is coming in the airport and luggage is very heavy. And he says, can I help you? And he lifts the luggage and keeps it in the trolley. That is the Agyata Sukruti. Understood? But same activity done by a devotee who knows that this is a spiritual activity, this is sannyasi, I want to serve, and he takes the suitcase and keeps on the trolley. That is the bhakti. Same activity, but that is the difference. Clear? Any other questions?
So, Prabhuji, when we give donation to the temple, does it come under Ajnata Sukruti or Akarma?
What do you think?
I think Akarma.
Any other thoughts?
Depends on the
It could be karma as well.
consciousness.
It could be karma as well.
Provide you a tax, then it is like first line.
That's what the Prabhu also said, it depends on the consciousness.
Because knowingly I'm doing it actually, because I know it's for Krishna
Yes.
consciousness. So,
See, many people go to Tirupati. They put it to so much donation. Oh, Balaji, I have all these problems. Let it sorted out. I gave the money to you already. Okay. So, it depends on the consciousness, So, but yes, in general, it's a karma. Okay. Yeah.
But
I'm just conscious of time, bro. 8:50 over 10 minutes.
Oh, okay.
We've
So,
got a lot to cover.
now, in terms of the retirement, there are the few things to note. Get married soon, if you are not. If you are 23 years old, you got 2 years. Yes? So you got 4 years. Yes? Yes. So, the why 25 years? Because we already discussed by 50 years you have to retire, so that you have to allow sufficient time. Number one. Okay? And number two is that, if the marriage is early, the kids will be early, then you can take care of them before retirement. Because you can't leave your responsibility and go and say that I will retire now. No, you have to fulfill your responsibilities, family responsibilities. So you have to allow sufficient time to finish off your responsibilities. Okay? So otherwise you will not be able to retire at 50. It will be 55 or maybe 60. Like that. So another thing that whenever it happens, say that you give only 25 years to your Grihastha life, not more. Okay? Otherwise, there is a more attachment, right? Getting out of it will be very, very difficult. Yes? So that should be the target. Yes? And then that, when you have to plan, right now. Okay? So one of my ex-colleague, she is a Greek. So I was talking to her. She said that, when she started to work, first job, all her family members forced her to invest. Okay, so she was like, trying to save the money and enjoy, but their parents, their uncle and all, they forced her to buy a house. So she started to invest from that time, day one. Okay, so she says that since I did that, now I'm in a very comfortable position. Okay, so in our family also, the moment we get money, we want to save for the retirement. Whether we are married or not, we invest for our children, children's marriage or children education, So that is what the golden rule. Okay, don't wait. Whatever you want to do, because our whole purpose is to discharge of the duties sooner so that we can retire. And retire for what? For Krishna. Okay, so that our thought process is more higher. It's not about the material retirement. Yes, that's why it's far more important. Make sense? So, in other words, whatever the current state is, like whatever you see that when you can retire, how many years you got, and you can plan how you want to do. Rather than adding the burden that how can I discharge my duties in this many years, that is the gap I got. Somebody must have 10 years or 15 years or 20 years, whatever. Make sense? So that time you have to utilize not to get more and more investments. You can have the investment, no problem. Suppose you have sufficient time, this much of period I'll still work more, I can have more income and more investments, and later on I'll retire. That is also okay, as long as you can manage. Okay? It should not be out of control. It should not be too much. Depending on your capability, you have to work it out. Yes? Then, economy. The fundamental rules of the economy. When you retire, you have to look after yourself. Nobody else will look after you. Yes? That should be our plan. Others will look after, that's a bonus. But how will you look after yourself? Suppose you have a car, what do? You have to take care of the running cost. Car has to be washed, maintained, you have to put the petrol every day to travel and all, that is the running cost. Then maintenance cost, repairs, and if you don't repair, then the car will stop, isn't it? And then ultimately that car will go away to wreckers and you have to get a new car. That car won't last. So likewise, our body is a car. We need a running cost to run this body. What is the running? Food and water. Who will give you if you retire? You have to give yourself. Okay? Yes, kids can give. Yes, sir.
Guruji, what do they mean by capital cost to acquire a new car? So now that you've given the example of the human body being a car, then is that saying capital cost to buy a new body? So does that mean our bodies are made out of matter, even though people have proved our bodies cannot be remade from matter?
Fantastic. Very good question. No, it's a very relevant question. Very good. What does it mean? That is our retirement. That is our future. plan for the future. I said earlier, don't plan for the retirement, plan for the future. Okay? So what is the plan? When we leave this body, what will happen? We have to go back to the spiritual world. That is our plan. Isn't it? So, when we are giving up this old car, we are not buying the new car. Okay? We say that no more car. I will fly now. Yes? That is the plan. Yes? So, in the retirement, coming to the retirement, we have to take care of the day-to-day expenses and also our medical expenses, our insurance, and so on. Right? See, there are two ways to retire. One is to become a Babaji. Don't bother about anything. Yes? So the other one, that what the way we have. And don't expect at the retirement to live a very high standard of life. No. The life has to be very, very minimal, as much as required. Okay? Less work for yourself. House, house maintenance, the work has to be very, very minimal, as much as required. Okay, right now you might have a big car, big house, this one, that one, gadgets, and when you retire, you have to give up all the sarva dharma parityaja. Okay, give up the TV, give up the car, all the TV dharma, give up, car dharma, give up. Keep those things as much required. Right? So that way you minimize. Okay? And secondly, they look after your medical expenses, unforeseen expenses. Not only medical, there are the other expenses as well. So you add those things. Okay, so what is the way you have to do? Today's world, that how much it will be cost. Day-to-day monthly expense, this much. Annually, sometimes you might need some medical expenses or this one, that one, you add them. Or major medical expense. Obviously, the health issues everybody gets. And nowadays, the health costs are improving. Right? So, you have to factor in that as well. And then, whatever the amount you are getting, this much, you have to have a income source. And this one will give you the income. And then you can peacefully retire. Right now, what you are doing, you are building the assets. And that's why you are paying the mortgage. You are paying the maintenances, this insurance, that insurance, and everything. And to pay that, you are going and working. But if you don't work, then you can't pay for the investments. That is what is happening. Somebody said that, right? We are working for mortgage. Yes, you said. Okay? So we don't want to be in that situation when we retire. So that working cycle has to break. Which means there is an income source is already created. And that income source gives you the monthly income that much. And that is what keeps you going. Then 100% you will focus on Krishna. Make sense? And it is possible. Okay? So, it may not be possible for everybody. But for you, that those who are the migrant, like our basically particularly the Indian families, the skilled migrants, it is possible. We can do that, definitely. Very easy. Okay? So, how to do it? Take this as a principle. Don't take this as a literal thing. Okay? Suppose you have two properties invested. One you will save, stay. Other one will give you rent. And the rent will take care of the bills. Okay? Is that possible? Easy. Okay? So, whatever you are saving here, these savings, you gradually try to buy a house in India. particularly in Dham. Okay, so Dham or closer to the Dham. Okay, so wherever you want to retire, wherever you want to stay. Okay, so if you want to retire in Australia, it's a different story. You probably need a bigger portfolio. Yes, so the Dham is important because Rupa Goswami explains in the Nectar of Devotion that the 5 elements of the bhakti. One of them is the Mathura Vas. Mathura Vas, one has to reside in Mathura or any holy dham. Okay, because why? You can do the bhakti even in Melbourne. Okay, it's okay. However, when its time comes, when your consciousness is also right, at that time, staying in the dham is very, very powerful. That basically arises your love in the heart for the love of Krishna, basically. And the holy dham are fully surcharged with the mercy of Krishna. They are very, very powerful. Okay? So, if you can put 2 properties in India, and that basically helps you in retirement, easy retirement. Okay? So, maybe in India the interest rates are very, very high. I think 10% minimum, 10%, 12%, like that. And in Australia, the interest rates are low. Or use your super to buy the property abroad. In India particularly. Because super is sitting for your retirement money. You can convert that one. There is a way. Okay. I have done that. I have taken out my super money, put it into the self-managed, and that money I used to buy an apartment in Mayapur. Okay, and only condition is that property I can't use until I retire, and I have that property for my retirement only, so it's done. For my stay is taken care, and I haven't given any money from my pocket. That is super money only given. Make sense? So if both husband and wife are working, it's easy to buy. No burden at all. Okay, and then basically create another source of income to take care of the bills, not the mortgage. Because in the expenses, mortgage is the biggest thing. Okay, at the time of retirement, we don't want to have the mortgage. Okay, we have to consolidate. Yes? And that way, apart from the bills, paying the bills, what else we have to do? There are the 4 problems of the life. What are the 4 problems?
Birth, old age, death, and diseases.
Disease. Okay. Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. Janma already happened. Whether you like it or not, it happened. Okay. So, no control. Now you have to address the 3 problems. What are they?
Old age, diseases, and death.
Yes, old age will come, definitely. And Vyadhi will come, definitely. See, I can't sit on the floor. I have a knee problem. Okay, generally, I'm supposed to sit on the floor and give the class. But, really sorry to sit on the chair. But what to do? Body doesn't permit. Yes, Vyadhi already has come. And then later the 4th stage also will come. Okay, for everybody. Right? So, to address those problems, we need insurance. Okay? So, old age and disease, health problem, we have to have the insurance. So, retirement, actually paying the bills itself is not sufficient, but you should have a insurance or some other source of income which takes care of your health issues. Okay, so the way to do is that what is the insurance cost today, right? If I have to go to the hospital, how much it will cost? And I will retire now 10 years later. Okay, maybe I go to the hospital maybe 20 years later. Okay, how much it will cost at that time? You can basically extrapolate it. Okay, and at that time, future, in 20 years time, you need that much of the payment for your health issues. And that is what the insurance you need. Either you pay for the insurance premium or you should have a source of income, don't have the insurance. Make sense? So if your portfolio financial capacity is higher, then you can create yourself. But it's better to have the insurance. Pay the premium little bit, headache is gone. Because you don't know now what kind of health problems will come, where it will come, how much it will cost. I mean, during the COVID, people went to the hospital. One day they took the 1 lakh rupees. Some people I know, they spent 40 lakhs, 50 lakhs, like that. So we don't know. So it's better to invest in the insurance. So look at which insurance will be better, right? And which are the policies will be good, and basically what is the premium that you will pay. So again, that premium will have to be added to your bills. That is your total expense, and that total expense will be met with your source of income, right? Make sense? So, I mean, whatever the source of income we have, our life we have to mold within that amount. You can live with a very little money, and you can live with crores of rupees as well. Now suppose Ambani has to retire. How much money he needs? Probably every month he needs $10 million. Or maybe that may not be sufficient. How much money you need if you have to retire? So maybe you don't even need 1 million, isn't it? So it all depends how you mold it. That's why I said that when we retire, our focus should be very minimal life, and whole focus is on Krishna. Yes. So coming to the insurance, hospital coverage is must. Okay, hospital requirement can come at any time. Yes, whether India or Australia doesn't matter. So you take care of that. And if you're working, for example, okay, it's better to take the income protection, but that is something you evaluate for yourself, your situation, and is the income protection really worth? Okay, and the life insurance is very much required. And the trauma, the TPD, that is very much required for everyone. Okay, and if you have the super also gives the life and TPD. Okay, you check with your super, and if you do the self-managed super, then you can sign up for these insurances and pay for the super. Okay, so that life and trauma are very much required. Otherwise, that these things are the killer. Right? Or it can wipe out your savings. So, and when you work out these things, as I mentioned, those premiums you add to your running cost or the monthly bills to pay. Okay, and that is how you have to calculate your finances. You finance the way you calculate that, put all these things as if you are retiring today. Okay, and today you get some X amount to retire. Now your plan is to retire 10 years. 10 years, this X amount will not be sufficient. You add the inflation. So 10 years time, this much is required. So you need a bigger source of income. That is the reason I said that you need the two houses, because house will keep increasing the value along with the inflation. So you don't have to worry. If the house is there today, it's taking care, it will take care of you 10 years later as well. Because as the expenses, all the inflation going, the house capital appreciates. Your rental income also appreciates. Make sense? So that will take care. So that is the reason in India the property investment is very good and safe. Okay? And there are mutual funds and the shares are there which give you the higher returns, but they are risky. Okay? You have to evaluate that risk, whether you want to go in there. Okay, and shares investment, particularly in the secondary markets, not advised. Okay, that is basically kind of a gambling. Okay, I used to be a share broker in my early life. Even when my friends were, they don't even know how to go to a bank, and I was doing the lakhs of transactions in the shares. I used to give the advice to others where to invest and so on. Situation changed. I had to exit from that profession. Yes, that's before my marriage, a long time ago. Then I came to IT. So IT is more easier. See, there was a time when all the elders meet early morning to have the tea and they read the newspaper, they read their friends, or everybody gathered, and they keep talking to each other. What's happening in your house? What is happening in your house? What your son doing? Somebody say that he studied, he did this, and somebody will say, my son is a useless fellow. Okay, he is good for nothing. So I'm thinking of sending him to the military. Okay, that used to be the conversation earlier. Nowadays, what happens? The same father says, my son is a useless. So I'm thinking of putting him in the IT and sending him to the US. So, US, America, the IT industry is full of us. Yes. Okay. So, again, I covered this one. Again, how much trauma is covered? Trauma, life, we decided that, take that, But how much is sufficient? Right? So, first thing, that if the TPD comes, then basically you will not be able to work anymore. That is the whole problem. That's what we are trying to address, right? So trauma cover should be your outstanding mortgage plus car loans if you have, and plus some amount to live and amount you need for retirement, right? And this one you keep adjusting as you go. Yes. So what happens? Suppose your mortgage is reduced. You don't have to pay so much premium. Reduce the premium. Okay. I mean, of course, if you pay the premium, more amount will come. But to pay the premium, you have to work hard. Yes. And that is the way basically you can reduce. And as you go towards the retirement, your mortgage must have reduced, your loans must have reduced. You have already planned, so this amount also will gradually come, and then you can give up like that. And when you come to hit the retirement, trauma cover should close. Why? Because you are not working anymore. Yeah. Make sense? So this is the calculation has to happen. Okay, so this one may not be true, but this is more of an indicative. Whatever I said now, how you add up the things. This is more of an illustration. Okay, so let's say that day-to-day living is 31,000. Basically, that the total income of 10 lakhs. That is what worked backwards. If you have 10 lakhs per year, it looks after your settlement. Is 30,000 sufficient in today's world, in Vrindavan, Mayapur? If the house is available,
Probably yes.
Yes.
I think yes.
Probably yes.
without mortgage.
Yeah. Yeah, bro.
It's sufficient actually.
Yeah, so just to pay the electric bills, and just your food expenses,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like that. I think 30,000 is good.
Simple life, bro.
Simple life, yes.
Otherwise, if you're having AC, then it's already consuming 10,000.
With AC also.
No, bro. With AC, 10,000.
Okay.
Yes, and but we just don't want to live. अरे मॉर्निंग उठो मंदिर जाओ दर्शन करो खाओ पियो सो जाओ. So it is not that much. Our aspirations are more. We need a modern retirement, isn't it? So we want to sometimes we have some our desires to travel here. Oh, my son is there, my grandchildren are there, somebody is getting married. You have to travel, social and all these things. So you have some elements. And not only that, sometimes you have to travel to some spiritual purpose as well. Isn't it? Some retreat happening, or your Guru Maharaj is coming, or some special Kumbh Mela is happening. So there are the spiritual purpose also you may have to travel. So you need some. Then deities. For Grihasthas, deities is a must. Deity worship. Okay? Deity worship basically keeps your consciousness intact. Right? So deity related, of course you have to spend something, for the deities. Deities don't require more. Okay? Deities are, you can take care as little as possible. But still, you need something to buy the clothes, buy the jewelries or whatever, And then you keep adding for the medical. Yes? Suppose you have an income of 10 lakhs, right? And after 20% or 30% is taken, rest of it will take care of your living in the dham. But again, don't take this as an amount as the example. You work it out for yourself. Yes? Does that make sense? Any questions, comments? Yes?
I think as of now it looks practical, but you never know what changes in the future.
Yes.
You can't always be 100% of the future.
Let's
So
imagine what will change. Let's imagine.
So I don't know, maybe probably there might be an accident and you might not be able to work. Obviously your insurance has covered that, but then with the inflation that is there as well is actually going beyond what we earn, right? So the inflation is like when I was small, 1 rupee was a lot, right? I could even get a chocolate and get something out of that. But now even 100 rupees is probably not enough for what I need.
When you bought a chocolate for 1 rupee, how much a house costed at that time?
Yeah, very less.
Okay, maybe 50,000, 70,000, now 50 lakhs, or 30 lakhs, if you don't pay, I don't think 20, 30 lakhs, nothing you get anywhere in India. So like that. So it's okay.
Proportional.
Yeah, proportionately. Right, no? I mean, that's why you have to choose some of your investment. I'm not saying that just a house, but I'm putting in the house. That's my choice. But there are the other options also there. You have to work it out. Okay, you put that one and that investment will grow. And that you have to do now. Okay, so now that if the investments are done as a lucrative investments, but not properly repurposed, At the time of retirement, it will be difficult. Even though you have a portfolio, you don't serve the purpose. Okay. Another way is that if you are capable, then pay off a house here in Melbourne. Okay, and you go and live in India. Then your income will be much higher. Even though you get about $1,500 or $1,800 or $2,000, it's a lot of money in India. I'm talking about today's world. In future also it will be like that. So if that is something you can do, pay off one. Suppose you have a investment properties and all. At some point in time, you consolidate, pay off one property, and that will give you the rent to use for every month. Yes.
Prabhuji, since I'm younger than mostly anyone here, and this is giving me an advantage, so would it be good if
Start investing.
if I already have started investing and I've got 2 properties because I have a good job. So what if I start renting the property in the Dham? Because most people travel there through Dhams and back to home, Dham back to home in their holidays or trips. So I could make an extra buck by doing that. So would it
How old
be
are
good?
you?
I'm only 9.
9. Have you heard of the Warren Buffett? Have you heard of? Okay. He is the one of the richest person in the world. Okay. His parents were poor. Okay. But he is the one of the richest person. Do you know when he started to invest? When he was your age. I think 11 or 12. His parents gave the money and he decided to invest. And he basically, that's where he started. He all the time focused on the returns. And he thought like you.
So I
Okay?
could do that.
You can do that, yes. You will be another Warren Buffett.
You can pay us off.
Dad will be very glad. Dad will be very
But
happy.
that's a good idea. If you can do that, that's a good idea. Okay? But yes, you can do that. Definitely. Okay? We need to talk to your dad properly. Yes? Yes, in fact, even though he made a point, that's a good point actually. Right now, suppose you want to retire 10 years later. If you acquire a property now, in 10 years time, the property will be 2 times, 3 times, but until then, it gives you the rent as well. So, working in abroad, this is the advantage, right? As I was telling, that from your current mortgage, you pull out about say for 50,000 or 100,000, 80,000. 80,000 means 40 lakhs. You can buy an apartment, okay? And that will keep you giving the interest in the meantime, and that will grow as well. So that's what he's talking about. So, very good.
Prabhuji, but wouldn't the money come out of my account? The money would come out of my account.
Who's putting
Don't-
it in your account to begin with? Where are you getting the money from right now?
Don't
I'm
worry.
on job. I don't have the money now. I'll get it later.
Yes. Don't worry. Don't worry. We'll work it out.
If I could live in a car, cause I bought it and it's like this sedan or something, and I can just sleep in like
We'll do one thing.
I can sleep in the back seat. So I'm already saving. So when I get a house, I could direct it to another point. So I'm already saving a lot extra.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Not so much.
And then I can get a house.
See, what? No, that's not a good idea. What is the first principle we saw? What is the retirement? Keeping Krishna in the center, not about the making money. Make money for Krishna.
Prabhuji, I can go here and there to the temple in the
We'll
morning.
sit down and talk about. You are going to put a plan for you. Yes? Any other questions or comments? Almost, yeah.
9:30.
Oh, okay. So, sorry we got a bit over time. So,
आगे आगे उसके पापा आ गए.
So, and I also offer my sincere thanks to His Grace Ashitaradhya Prabhu. He is my Bhakti Shastra teacher. He was here in Melbourne, and he basically put these principles, most of it, and that which I refined them, and he applied for himself, and he retired at the age of 53, and he lives in Vrindavan nowadays. Okay, and taking those principles that we have implemented in our life. Okay, so hopefully we are going in the right path. But yes, I offer my sincere gratitude to him. Okay, we'll stop here, and thank you very much for all of you. And again, what we discussed is more of a principles, but this has to be worked out for yourself, exactly how much money you need and how it works and all. So you can do, but if you need any help or consultation, you can always talk. But these are the principles you have to work on. Make sense?
Bro, can I?
Yes.
I just want to know who's got questions, like burning questions that you want to ask. So what we can do is, if you have more questions, then we can plan the prasadam seating accordingly. So you can ask Prabhu during the prasadam. Is that okay, bro?
Yes, we can do that. And Prishni also there, she can answer.
Yes, kids are restless, so that's why I'm kind of think we should proceed with prasadam. How many of you have questions? Like,
I have questions.
okay,
Okay.
one.
Yes,
I'll ask.
one.
Yes, one question.
I'll ask during the
A few questions.
Okay, two. Okay. Okay, Mataji seems to be okay. Or maybe, if possible, Mataji, Majra Gujapati, you sit around and then we will do the same with Prabhuji. Is that okay? Huh? No, Mataji will speak to you and Prabhu will speak to Prabhu. Or with Prabhu can be in the middle and they can sit around. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. We can do that together, no problem.
Yeah.
together will benefit.
Is it possible to push the kids somewhere? Is it possible? No, not really. In the room. Can the kids go somewhere else?
Or they will sit.
Yeah.
Only some.
So that we can just adjust here.
Yeah, we can adjust. Kids can sit other side and we will sit here. Okay?
But I mean, let's give me 10 more seconds if that's okay. I'm 200% sure this would have been really helpful. So thank you so much, Prabhu. Because I asked Prabhu once, he remembered it, and then he himself called and said, Prabhu, I want to come and give the presentation. So he remembered when I made the request like 3-4 months before. Prabhu, like I said, is very busy. But thank you, Prabhu. This has been really helpful. Because at the end of the day, no matter how much financial we are talking, like Prabhu said, our aim is to put Krishna in the center. So that's very important. Thank you, Prabhu, for your time. Let's thank Prabhu by loudly chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
One for Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
One for Transcendental Retirement.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Thank you so much.
Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Srila Gurudev ki Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. So hopefully it made sense.